The main theme for the next 6 months is kind of like a honeymoon. So if you're looking at a situation like, what can I possibly get out of it? So is the other party. It's in doing things that scare the shit out of you. Hello, Virgo. It's mid-year, and now we're going to look into the future to find out what you need to know for the remainder of 2021. We're going to look at the main theme for the next 6 months. We're going to look at challenges that might arise, and we're going to look at advice for how to go forward with that. Stay tuned. We'll go ahead and get started. Okay there, Virgo, here we go. Let's find out what your main theme is for the next 6 months. It's June now. We're going to look at the next 6 months that you have to be looking forward to. Let's find out. Virgo. Virgo. What do you need to know? What do you need to know? Oh, look at this. This is really interesting. The main theme for the next 6 months is kind of like a honeymoon. It's getting back to with your, if you are in a partnership, it's like getting back in connection with your sweetheart, where it's like you are like fully, like really bonding really well with your sweetheart and things are going really good. Now, if you're not in a relationship, whether you want to be in one or not, it's very much about feeling in the vibration of being happy and doing what you want to do, as though you are on a honeymoon. Like, I'm really feeling the honeymoon energy coming from this Six of Cups here. So you could be taking yourself on a honeymoon. Now, this might have a lot to do with it being post-pandemic. People are getting out and about. Everything's opening up again. People are getting on with their lives. And it's like the post-war period that we had in the 20th century, the several post-war periods where it was like people were able to just really enjoy life and live it up and, be in the flowers, go on dates and just do fun things. Like, one of the things that I have planned is I'm going to take a big European vacation this fall. That's one of my honeymoon things. Whether I'm going with a romantic partner or not, I'm treating myself as though I am on a honeymoon. Okay. So that's what it's all about. Just treating yourself really, really well, enjoying life in general, enjoying the sensuality, enjoying the pleasure, enjoying the joy of physical and emotional connection with another person, or physical and emotional connection with yourself, as though you are in a romantic relationship, even if it's just with yourself. Right? Just really spoiling yourself as though you are like really like getting lovey-dovey with another person. Okay, so challenges that could be coming up in the next 6 months. Let's just pull a couple cards for that, because there's always challenges that come up. That's what helps us learn and grow. Boom. All right, 5 of Swords. We're concerned about whether or not people are taking advantage of us, and we've also got the Hanged Man that came up. Interesting. So I think that they could be 2 separate incidences, but it could also be that it's just one incident. Anyway, it's like pulling yourself out for a timeout, but mostly it's just like rethinking your strategy for things that you had been working on in the first half of the year. Rethinking your strategy about it, realizing that you have to go a little bit slower than you thought you were going to. That's what that Hanged Man is for. I think I'm going to take it slower than I originally planned, because there's so much life to live. You had been working full steam ahead on something and putting a lot of time and energy and effort into it, but you realized that wasn't sustainable. Or right now you're realizing that's not sustainable, and you're like, okay, I have to rethink how I'm going to do this, because this is the long haul that I'm working on here. And so I need to take a little break and rethink this so that I can make it last. So it's a little bit disappointing that everything that you want isn't working out as quickly as you'd like it to, but it's also a relief that you don't have to force it to happen faster, or that everything is going faster than you feel like you can handle it, right? So there's that. Things are stalling out a little bit on stuff that's important to you. All right. And another thing is this Five of Swords. There's just like a situation where somebody's taking advantage of another person. Someone knows something somebody else doesn't know. Yeah, I'm just feeling like you're attracting what in this situation. You are attracting what you are. You're attracting what you're giving. Everyone's a good person. Everyone is flawed, right? So if you are in the vibration where you're not all in on something, you kind of half out, maybe being a little bit like snarky about the whole thing, you're attracting that vibration to you in the way that other people treat you. Okay. So if you are looking at a situation like, what can I possibly get out of it? So is the other party. So that's something to look out for, because, the best results, when we want to be in alignment with our soul purpose, we want to have greater economic abundance, or abundance of all things awesome. If we want deeper connections with other people, we must be willing to be bravely vulnerable. And that Five of Swords card is not a card of vulnerability. It's a card of having your guard up so that someone else can't take advantage of you, and being ready to take advantage of them if need be. All right? Let's get some advice for the 6 months ahead. What you should be keeping in mind for the 6 months ahead. I think particularly regarding like that attitude, like, I can't be vulnerable, right? That vulnerability is what's going to lead to that connection that you're going to be basking in. That's an interesting thought, huh? What stands between that? Okay. So I felt driven to pull 3 cards for the advice for the 6 months ahead. Okay. So the first thing that I'm drawn to is this 3 of Swords energy. And I feel like that relates directly to the 5 of Swords. And it's like that fear of being vulnerable that I was talking about. Like, you can fully bask in the pleasure of your honeymoon phase if you allow yourself to be fully vulnerable with the people around you, your coworkers, your lover, your friends, right? But you feel like you've been burned before and you don't want to go through that again. Like, I can't trust that person. I can't trust that they're not going to pull a fast one on me. But forgiveness is the path to abundance. Forgiveness is the path to good luck. Forgiveness is the path to pleasure. All right. So if you don't want to be in this state, got to forgive the things that happened to you before and not keep dragging it back up. So you know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about, that you don't quite trust completely. You have to stop beating yourself up, like as though it's not even your fault, right? You have to stop being angry with yourself for allowing these negative experiences to happen. You have to forgive them, whether they know it or not, okay? And you have to put that experience behind you, because you are in a new phase. The 6 of Cups is representing a new phase. Things are completely different now. And so this is not something that's even an issue anymore. And you're just holding yourself back. I also feel like this is something that's holding you back as well. Okay? Full vulnerability and allowing yourself to, being courageous enough to allow yourself to be fully in the moment with the person or with the experience that you're in, is what will break you out of the energy of waiting. Okay. Well, that's that. We got these 2 major arcana that came out, the Magician and the Strength. Like I said, this is about vulnerability, having the courage to be vulnerable and get out of your comfort zone when it comes to creating, when it comes to being able to fully experience something. So, yeah, do things. You're being advised in the next 6 months to try things that you otherwise would never be brave enough to do. That's where this is where the success is. It's in doing things that scare the shit out of you. All right? Try to do something that scares you at least once a week. That's my challenge to you, Virgo, for this upcoming 6 months. Try to do something that scares the shit out of you as often as possible. Like that you know your higher self would never guide you to do something that was actually dangerous. It's just scary to your ego. And you get more used to it. You get more and more accustomed to sticking your neck out. That is the key to manifestation, is to listen to the inspired downloads that you are receiving as you go along. You're going to be, in the next 6 months, inspiring downloads are going to be coming in. Like, I feel like I should try this, right? It's going to be really impulsive, mercurial, kind of like, I feel like I should try this. And you're being told, do it. Put your ego down and do it. Okay? All right. That's where I have to leave off. I've been talking long enough. I love you, Virgo. It's going to be a good 6 months for you, I think. It's all about pleasure. I love you. Make sure and check out all of your other readings and subscribe if you haven't already. See ya.